Yashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Chodesh, Chodesh, Yaminu
Let's begin by going back. South Africa's first lockdown was announced by President Ramaphosa on Monday, the 23rd of March, to begin on that Wednesday, only 2 days later. And we knew that with Shabbat services planned in all three centers and a bar mitzvah in Weinberg, that we would have to pivot fast from physical services to online services. And we did. Jumping onto Zoom and Facebook, we began the steepest learning curve this congregation has ever faced, with rabbis, musicians, service leaders, cheder teachers, Netzer leaders, admin, staff, congregants of all ages and backgrounds, making the leap into the world of online shul.
It's been a challenge for everyone, for our leadership, for lovers of music and food, and social time at Rochas, for those who had never been to anything online or didn't have a device, to those who spent all day on a screen and felt uitgezoomd, screen fatigue. But we have walked this road together, stopping at each step to check in, to learn, to tweak, change, add and refine what was being offered. We have seen old and new regulars attending shul online, bringing together a community that used to be spread into 3 geographic areas around Cape Town, now includes all, not just from Cape Town, but indeed from all around the world.
We recently marked Tisha B'Av, and our rabbinic team led a service acknowledging not just the destruction of the temples and events in Jewish history, but also the personal and communal losses of this coronavirus pandemic. On all of our minds was the closure of synagogues, and with them the freedom to gather as a congregation to daven, sing, chat, hug, eat, catch up, and share the deep and simple pleasures of being a community. Since lockdown began, in the back of all of our minds has been the question, when will synagogues open? And what about the high holy days?
Our lay and professional team, advised by the best medical experts, has concluded that there is no safe way for our community to congregate in the buildings over the high holidays. As long as gathering physically carries a reasonable possibility of causing illness and even death, which in our tradition is called sakanat nefesh, danger to life, whether to congregants, staff, clergy, or guests, physical gathering would violate our most fundamental Jewish principle of pikuach nefesh, saving a life. This will be the first time since our congregation's foundation in 1944 that we will not be offering a physical service, and we feel the weight of that historic decision.
At the same time, we have had 4 months already to exercise our creative muscles in offering services, shiurim, community events, b'nai mitzvah, shiva prayers, and other life cycle events online. And we've begun the process of merging these newly acquired skills with the exceptional talents that we have in our congregation to offer the best possible range of events for the high holiday season. So we're going to present some of the highlights of that planning now to give all of our congregation a taste of what they can expect to see over that high holiday period including the occasional technical glitch. We invite you to share your feedback and suggestions, and we will respond to each one personally as soon as we are able. For today, please feel welcome to use the comments here on Facebook, where you can write your thoughts, ideas, questions, or concerns. And going forward, please feel free to email, WhatsApp, or call any of the rabbinic team or Eric, and we will respond.
So let's start 1 month before Rosh Hashanah, and let's talk about the month of Elul. Elul is the opportunity for us to spiritually prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah. And this is a time that traditionally in our community, we study, we share our preparations through the weekly emails that we send out, which will continue again this year as a weekly Elul magazine filled with resources and thoughtful preparations for us to prepare for the High Holy Days. In addition, this year, we'll be offering for the first time a special sign up for daily offerings on WhatsApp, which you will get on your phone or device. We'll also offer extra workshops and shiurim during that time, run by our rabbis and guest rabbis for all of the congregation to be able to connect online on Zoom and Facebook. One of the big issues that we've thought about is the blowing of the shofar, which traditionally during Elul happens every day. And this is something that we would like to continue to offer to the congregation. And how do we do that in the time of coronavirus? So we are thinking hard about creative ways to make shofar available every day to as many people as possible. We're obviously taking advice in terms of whether we can gather physically in some way to hear the sound of the shofar, but we will certainly make that available electronically and in as many different and creative ways as possible.
One of the other things that we are going to be encouraging people to do both before the high holidays begin and throughout the high holiday season is to create within their home, within your home, a mikdash ma'at, which is a small sanctuary, a personal sacred space where you can tune out all of the usual noise of your daily life at home and tune in to the holiday experience with us online. For some people, that might look like finding a quiet space in your house and decorating it in a beautiful or spiritual way. Another idea that we have that we are wanting to encourage you to think about is during the month of Elul to build your sukkah early. If you're able to build a sukkah outside, to create a space that you can step into and bring your electronic device with you and sit, if the weather is nice, in that space throughout the holidays. And we will be sharing resources with you in the coming weeks to help you think through how to best do that for yourself.
What will take place on Zoom, we're planning to show an appropriate movie and a discussion after that, and discussion about Teshuvah, and then we'll have the blowing of the shofar as well. And the shofar blowing throughout the month of Elul and on Slichot will be recorded, although Slichot we might have a live blower as well. But during our services, upcoming Rosh Hashanah services, we'll have videos of congregants, various congregants playing shofar. Erev Rosh Hashanah will take place as usual, but on Zoom. It's a Friday night Shabbat service as well as Rosh Hashanah. There'll be music which will be partly recorded and partly played and sung live. And we will be giving out honors as usual throughout the High Holy Day services. Obviously, it will be one center instead of three, but honors will be given out, and we're planning the services, and we've been doing that for the last month.
kids programming throughout the high holy days with our experienced and creative teachers and young leaders, which will also include our new youth and musical fellow Will from the USA. And we're also delighted that children from all over, from our sister congregations all over the country, will be joining us for those too. Those will also be offered online.
On Rosh Hashanah morning, we'll be online, all of us together in Zoom and Facebook. We are excited about the way that services are going to look and feel. And we also are excited that we'll be able to offer different spaces. We'll have a main service that will live stream to Facebook, just like our Shabbat services do. And we also will have some pop-out spaces where we can do some different things, some alternative meditations and study sessions. In Rosh Hashanah morning, there'll be 2 opportunities to pop out of the main service if you want to. And there'll also be a space for people to just pop into and schmooze together, sort of like you would in the shul lobby as you're coming and going.
Tashlich is a very much loved ceremony of gathering outside in our community. That's when we cast away sins. We usually do it at the ocean or at a river, and we have really beautiful memories of gatherings at this time. This year, we are hoping, if it's safe, to be able to have small groups to do tashlich at several different venues around town with mask and everything that needs for safety. We will be reviewing these ideas in response to medical advice at the time. We will also have a printable tashlich pack available for people to do at home.
The very important Aseret Yemei Tshuva, the 10 days that lead from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, the highest and holy days of the year, where we are called to reflect and do the process of Cheshbon HaNefesh to prepare ourselves, the accounting of our souls to prepare ourselves for Yom Kippur. So once again, with the creative input of our team, we will be making a range of different resources, activities, shiurim, and workshops available during those 10 days to help the congregation prepare for Yom Kippur.
And we'll be having an edition of Kol Nidre, which is sung 3 times. Each rendition will be given by a member of each different center. So there'll be a rendition given by Greenpoint, by Weinberg, and by West Coast, a representative, so that all 3 centers are included. Each of the rabbis have in their homes a Sefer Torah, but you're also going to be delivering in each area. So Southern Suburbs, Atlantic Seaboard, and Milton area will be delivering 3 more Sifrei Torah to members of the councils, so they can hold them during the rendition of Kol Nidre. So each rabbi and 3 members of each center will be holding a Sefer Torah. And service will continue as normal as possible, but on Zoom.
And on Yom Kippur morning, which will be very similar to Rosh Hashanah morning, with pop-outs and alternates to the main service, we will be continuing what we start on Rosh Hashanah.
For the early afternoon program, we will be doing midday Yom shiurim as always, and also an afternoon service, mincha, which will be co-led by members of our youth. And there will also be a breakout meditation for young adults with Rabbi Emma.
We are still going to create a beautiful space where we can remember and share names of loved ones. we're going to be creating some beautiful videos where the names will be read and displayed, where we'll be able to perhaps add pictures for people who'd like to submit them. If you want the names and photos of your loved ones to be shared, we definitely encourage you to fill out the form that will be sent out in the DAF and High Holiday emails and get that back to us as soon as possible. But there will also be opportunities to share names even if you haven't submitted them in advance. So whether you submit it in advance or whether you think of it in the moment, either way, we'll be able to name and honor those that you have loved and lost. There'll also be an alternate option at the same time running for people who traditionally don't go to the Yizkor service and are looking for a different way to spend that time.
Of course, Yom Kippur finishes up with Ne'ilah and the breaking of fast. And even though we would love to be able to throw our arms around each other at the end of a day, having been together, praying, studying, and fasting and going deep within, this will again be a beautiful musical service held on Zoom, and we will be providing opportunities for people to connect and share the process that they've been having during that day as we watch the sun set and Yom Kippur disappears. Don't worry, we have thought about that one too. And we will ensure, because it's such an important way that everybody has an opportunity in a big or small way to support the shul and drives the programming and events of the year to come, that the Yom Kippur Appeal will be coming to you this year in a creative online way. So be ready for that exciting opportunity as well. We are sharing with our partners in the South African Union for Progressive Judaism and the South African Association of Progressive Rabbis, two opportunities, one on the second day of Rosh Hashanah in the morning, and in the midday shiurim that Eric was mentioning earlier, a limud style range of activities for people to participate, whether they are based in Johannesburg or Cape Town. You will, people from all over the country will be able to participate in these offerings online, on Zoom and on Facebook.
Machzorim, we are in the process of putting together a program where people will be able to come and collect copies of the High Holiday Machzorim from the shuls and signing to return them after the High Holidays. So please just look out for notifications on that. We're also really working very hard to try and make sure that we can make the technology available to as many of our congregants as possible, including those who are not used to Zoom or Facebook. The team and I are very grateful that you joined us tonight to hear about our High Holiday program. We're very excited about what we are going to be providing for you, and as been mentioned, we look forward to receiving your constructive feedback.
Once again, we value your input and would love to hear any thoughts, questions, or concerns you have about the High Holidays. Feel free to call, WhatsApp, or email any one of the team going forward.